Hello, welcome to the channel. I am J.E. Purrazzi, writer of speculative fiction and author of the Malfunction Trilogy, the Raven Tree Society, and more. I'm continuing my series today on the Malfunction Trilogy. Be sure to check some of the videos in the past if you're coming here for the first time, and you'll be able to find some character introductions and more. I'm continuing the question and answer session today, so I've got some great questions from some fellow authors and some readers that I'd love to answer today. So the question I have right now is from Sarah K.L. Wilson. She asks, "You write such genuine and truly strong female characters, but I think what I like best about Menrva was how a lot of both her hurt and her strength came from her femininity. Do you have a strong female relationship that fed into that?" I think this is a great question. And female relationships are really an underserved area in books in general. I wish I had been able to draw that out a little bit more in this book. Unfortunately, I think that's going to have to be saved for some other series where I'll get to play around a little bit more with some more female friendships. But yes, I did have some great female friendships that I have fostered over the years that have poured into my creation of Menrva. Of course, my mother was an amazingly strong woman. She had her emotions and her logical side perfectly in sync, and you could never see one too strong without the other. She did not abandon any part of herself, and in being a mother, she was not just a mother, she was also a minister, she was a wife, she was serving people all around her, and she did not sacrifice any part of herself for anyone else. So a lot definitely came from that relationship. I've also had some great female friendships over the years, and a few in particular that bled into this story is my friendship with fellow author Janelle Garrett. And if you guys have not checked out her books at all, I highly recommend them. She writes epic fantasy and they're wonderful stories. But Janelle Garrett is one of these people who is fiercely, fiercely protective of what she loves. She does not back down for anything once she gets that mama bear up in her. She is so protective of her boys, but not just her boys. I've seen her just go to bat for strangers and go the extra mile for people she's just met on the street. And the way that she has fought for me and for our friendship has just been hugely inspirational for me, and that was definitely a big part of that. And then finally, my pastor's wife, Betsa, was definitely part of that as well. She is an inspiring woman in many ways, very gentle and kind and supportive of her husband and of the church and her daughter and anyone who needs anything who comes to her. But that support is definitely not a show of weakness. She's one of those women who, by her gentle support, is just holding up so much. And she has really inspired a lot in the Malfunction Trilogy, in Menrva in particular. I think most of my the things I was pulling for Menrva were longings of my own heart. So Menrva is a mother, and I long to be a mother, and have not been able to have that experience. Menrva has experienced trauma in her life, some of which I relate to, some of which I extrapolated on, and Menrva has hidden strengths which she has to call on in different periods, and a lot of those strengths are strengths that either I believe I have or strengths that I wish I had at different points in my life. So Menrva was a very honest character for me as well, just pulling from my own life. So if you've enjoyed this series so far, be sure to subscribe and like and hang around. There's going to be more in the future, talking about more characters and more aspects of the Malfunction universe, and also answering more questions. If you have questions of your own about science fiction in general, what it's like to write science fiction, or about the Malfunction Trilogy and any of the aspects of that, I would love to answer those. So go ahead and drop them in the comments or shoot me an email. I will be very happy to answer those. Also, you can check out my website where you'll be able to find free fiction, signups for my newsletters, and extras like Spotify playlists and art. Thank you guys so much for hanging around for this. There are more videos on the way.